Hello guys and welcome back. So the circuit system is a pretty easy system in the game, and I'm hoping to explain everything I know about the circuits in this video. So let's just go straight into it. So circuits are basically trinkets or so that you can slot in every piece of your gear, right? It's kind of intimidating at first because you don't really know what these are, but it's a pretty easy and very easy to understand system. One thing to know about system is circuits is this: you can freely equip this and unequip them. So do not be scared about messing with this system at all. You do not lose anything. You can level random circuits if you want to. You actually don't even lose them when you do that. I'm going to explain that later on. But yeah, so the circuits are just basically things you want to be putting in your gear. They're going to be giving you stats, and it's a good thing to start working on immediately. You can freely change your gear. For example, let's assume I got this new piece of gear and I have a circuit equipped on the helmet. If I swap to the new helmet, the circuit will remain on the slot. So don't think that is going to change anything. It's like it's two different systems, right? So you can freely change your gears here without worrying about your circuits being all messed up down here. Next point, where do you really get these circuits? So circuits are gotten from your base runs and elite runs. This is the main source of circuits with only green energy. Of course, don't use your orange energy on this because you're not going to get the circuits. But with green energy, every time you do your base runs, your purgatory runs, you're going to be getting a lot of these epic runs, circuits. The drop rate is actually pretty good, actually, to be honest. So the issue isn't getting the circuits, the issue is getting the best possible circuit. So do not worry about the circuit. You're going to be getting a lot of these, even in the events, login rewards and stuff like that. They're going to be giving you boxes and stuff with a lot of circuits in them. I have several here. So yeah, that's the source of circuits. You're going to be getting a lot of circuits to work with. On that point as well, when you're getting these circuits, just equip the epic ones. Do not bother with the pink ones. The rare ones are basically cannon fodder that you want to be feeding into your epic ones. So yeah, you're going to be getting a lot of the epics, so don't worry about that. So you're going to be using all your epics in your gear. This is just a stepping stone or just food to feed into your epic ones. Circuits come in 4 different types, and you can differentiate them by the name. So you will see there's radiant circuit, you have time circuit, you do have netherite circuit, and you do have stellar circuit. I don't want to confuse you guys so much with the naming and stuff. All this means is where it can be slotted. So stellar circuit, seals and talisman. Radiant circuit will slot in the weapons, bracers, ring and necklaces. It's actually this row, like 1, 2, 3, 4. All these they use the radiant. And then for armors, they'll interchange between the time. It's 3 pieces, and then the netherite is 2 pieces. You'll see it interchanges here: time, Netherlands, time, right? Another thing to know about these differences with also the names. So the radiant circuit will always roll with attack as the main attribute, right? It doesn't matter which one you get, pink, whatever in it, it will always be attack. Look at time. Time is a little bit more complicated. Time is gonna roll with either crit rate, crit damage, cooldown, or attack speed, right? I don't have a cooldown one here, but you can get a cooldown one, right? There's four attacks with that. When you look at netherite, will only roll with 1. This will only roll with HP. There is no RNG there. It's just HP. And then you have the last one, which is a stellar, which this one is even more complicated because this one you can roll basic attack damage, skill damage, basic attack, and then every elemental type. So cryo, prio, umbro, and electro. So the 4 elemental types, basic attack damage and skill damage. So this gives you a sense of customability of your class. You can make some builds and stuff. So each class will be building these circuits a little different when it comes to the stellar ones and the time one. The other one will have like the same attack, or like the weapon one will have the same attack. It doesn't change at all. That is it for the main stat. When we talk about the sub attributes, things get a little bit more interesting. Now, before I talk about the sub attributes, let's talk about how you level up these circuits. When it comes to leveling up these circuits, what you're actually praying the RNG gods for is for every time you're unlocking a new attribute, hit level 4, you want to get an attribute that your class can actually use. That is basically the end game grind when it comes to circuits. So for the purpose of the video, let's assume I am which classes use a pyro? Starbreaker. I think Starbreaker uses pyro, right? Let's say I'm a Starbreaker and I want this pyro enhanced as my main circuit. Now down here I want to get the best possible stats that I can use as a Starbreaker. So I'm going to select 2 junk until I get level 2, and then I'm going to upgrade that. And once I get attack speed is a good stat to use, right? So I'm kind of hopeful for this circuit. This circuit may end up good. Now I'm looking for either strength, physical crit, maybe crit damage, or even pyro enhancement. Those are stats I can use as a Starbreaker or something like that, right? So I'm gonna quick select again until I unlock the second one, and then I'm gonna level. Now, see what I got? I got Electro Enhance. If you have like something like Electro Enhance but your class uses Pyro, this is a wasted stat. However, I would not throw away this circuit just yet. You never know what you might get at level 6 or level 8. So I'm going to speed a little bit more to hit level 6, and then try and see what I get. Base HP. Base HP, any class can use base HP. That's not really a bad stat, right? So we're gonna level up to 8 to see the last stat. Physical defense. Technically speaking, you can use this circuit, but it's very defensive and you have one wasted stat. Getting 4 perfect is really hard. So aiming for 3 good usable stat is a good starting point. So for now, let's assume you got all trash loot. I didn't say loot. All trash stats down here. This circuit is not a wasted circuit because you can now go to level a second one, right? For example, I would like to use the Umbro one, right? So when I come to level this one, I'm trying this, I can use one of these that I've enhanced and are completely trash. For example, let's say this one, right? Cryo enhance, physical defense. I don't want to use these stats. I can just feed it straight in and it gives me a huge boost, basically from 0 to 7. So I lose like a little bit of XP. And then I'm gonna put one junk one and I can hit it level 8 immediately and see what attributes I get. So boom, I got strength, base HP, pyro, magical defense. This is the worst possible circuits I can get on our Warlock. So this is now junk. I'll use this to level another one. So that you guys get the loop, right? And when you get the perfect one that you want or a usable one, you can level it all the way to level 20. Level 20 is the maximum level for your circuit. So I hope that you guys have understood the leveling process and how to kind of find a nice circuit for yourself for each slot, basically. Now, to finish up as we are ending up the video, how would you know what sub attributes you want for your class, right? Now, because class guys are kind of a little scarce at the moment, and you probably don't have a way to know what circuit you're going for and stuff, the easiest way to know what stats you're looking for, I would tell you this, right? You need to know if your class is a physical damage class or it's a magical damage class. The way to know what damage your class does, just look at the skills. The skills will tell you that. So just look at the skill effect, and then look at the skill in here. It will say magic damage. So for example, 780% initial magic damage. If it's something like a berserker, it will say something like 780% initial physical damage. And that is how you'll know if your class is a physical damage class or a magical damage class. The moment you get that answer, let me give you a small attribute class. So if you are a physical damage class, then you're going to be using strength. If you click deal and stuff, you should see the explanation of every stat in the game. So for example, if you are a physical damage class, you are using strength to increase your physical attack. So if you get an intelligence stat, it's kind of a wasted stat, right? Another thing you're looking for is you're looking for agility way more than spirit. Spirit isn't useless because you do get magical defense. However, the magical crit chance that you're going to be getting for your spirit stats is kind of wasted stat because you're not using magical crit, you're using physical crit. And this works the same for the magic classes. If you're using a magic damage class, then you are looking for magical attack and magical crit. Physical HP, that gives you HP for all classes and stuff, and that also applies to every stat down here. Physical attack cannot work with the magical attack. These are two different stats. Physical defense penetration and magical defense penetration also two different conflicting. They are basically conflicting stats. You don't want both of them. You want to choose one. If you're a physical damage class, go for physical crit and not magical crit. The other stats, for example, cooldown, attack speed, critical damage, are universal. This will be usable for all classes. And then when it comes to elements, that's a whole different video, but it is also usable for all classes. But there's a caveat because that depends on what your class is doing, what your class skills are, what element they are. So that's a whole different video. So I can't really do that on this video now. It's going to be a very long video. So I hope this has given you guys like a small, basically guideline on how to start making your circuits and make sure your sub attributes are like really optimized as much as possible, right? So I'm still working on this. This is a long process, so don't expect to get like the perfect circuit all the time. It's a long process, but it's a fairly cheap process. So I wouldn't say I would hate the system at all, to be honest. So I hope that has helped you guys understand the system. As try to explain it as best as I could, and if you guys found this useful, please put a like down there. If you have any questions, please comment. I'll make sure I answer pretty much any question I can get the time to answer. And like and subscribe the video if you found this helpful, and I'll see you guys on my next guide.